It's dust o'clock. It's time for all the dusty letters from dusty people all over the world to be discussed and analyzed and their problems solved once and for all. Welcome to What the Fuck Tuesday. You see, I still have look at my alcohol puffiness is still on. Oh my God, this weekend I just did the most. I don't know what I was thinking. I must have thought I was young. I forgot. Something happened. I was delirious. I'm copping all kind of pleas. I'm just up there with my bad foot. I'm trying to dance my little two-step dancing with my little cousin who's hopping all over the place because he's only in his 30s, and I'm trying to dance, and then I'm having some drink, and then I was hungry and there was nothing to eat but some pizza. So I said, okay, well, let me have some pizza. So I ate some pizza, which I usually don't eat pizza because of the grease and the cheese. Oh my God, you talking about a sister was sick. I didn't even make it back to the house. I was like, and then I stayed ill the whole next day. So, I have learned a valuable lesson to remember that I'm old and I cannot do the stuff that I used to do. My body can't hang. Oh my God, it was just terrible. It was terrible. It was just terrible. So I know I'm gonna hear about that from my cousins for the rest of my life because they was all talking about from now on you got a 2 drink maximum. You can't hold your liquor no more. It was terrible. But you know what? Guess what? I almost forgot that it was What the Fuck Tuesday because I was sitting there on my couch. It has that part where, it extends out. It's like a chaise lounge. My feet all up in the remote in my hand. And I was watching this movie called Message Man. Dude was just a savage. I was just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then something said, what are you doing? It's Tuesday. You need to be getting ready for the show. So I jumped up and threw on some makeup and changed out of my pajamas for y'all. And so here I am. Oh my God. Uh, so, anyway, welcome to What the Fuck Tuesday, where we go over letters that have been previously submitted by curious people anxious to get their feelings hurt. That's all I can say. But they have some problems and they decided to write to me to get, a real hardcore, no frosting kind of answer. Because most of the time they've talked to other people. They talk to their friends, they talk to their family, some of them have talked to shrinks, and they still don't have the information they need to resolve the issue. So then they come to me and I give it to them in just a couple of paragraphs. And it's free, you know? Thank you. So I got a compliment on my top. Yeah, Deb is down to a 2 drink max. That's when you know your days in the clubs is over and you need to just sit down somewhere. So let us get started. We have oops, I forgot to see. We have 23 questions today. So we're gonna be here for a minute. Pull up your dranky drink and let's go. Question number one of 23. This is from a young lady in the 21 to 25 age group from St. Petersburg, Florida. She says, Auntie, with a whole bunch of exclamation marks. I accidentally farted in front of my boyfriend. Oh, out the gate. I accidentally farted in front of my boyfriend and his 2 sisters. What can I do to ease my embarrassment? I am 21 years old and have been dating this guy for about 7 months. The other day, I accidentally farted in front of him and nobody said anything about it and nobody even stopped talking. Nobody laughed or looked at me quickly. I don't know if they even heard it, but I just asked my boyfriend to take me home like 15 minutes later and turned to my family to help ease my humiliation. Now I'm too embarrassed to go back to their house. Any tips to overcome my embarrassment? Let me just, don't pay attention to Ann in the chat room because she tripping. This is like, I don't know why this is making me laugh so hard. I'm gonna tell you what my grandmother used to do. Okay, my grandmother, she would just walk by you and just fart, and just like, what? What you gonna do? And so we, kids, we gonna make a big deal out of it. You gonna be all the dramatic and be doing the most, falling all out, holding our nose like we was about to die, and all this kind of stuff. And my grandmother's simple explanation was this: there's more room outside than in. And that was it. That's all she said. She never said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry for offending your nose," nothing. And the farts would just be loud. Yeah, I don't know. Hers didn't really have an awful smell, but they were just loud as hell. And I'm like, how do you make these explosion farts? And we used to want to do that as kids. You want to have, make a scene, make an impression. And we could just never make our farts as loud as my grandmother could make hers. I can't believe I'm talking about fart volume right now. My life has really deteriorated. But young lady, all you have to do in a situation like that, is understand that everybody farts, everybody pees, everybody poops, everybody gets a runny nose, a cold, boogers in their nose, gook in their eye. Everybody gets that. Okay, so it's not like you're the only one. So all you have to do is in a situation like that, especially when I mean, that's like family almost. That's your boyfriend and his sisters. I mean, that's not a big deal. Now, if you was like on a job interview or something, I could see your concern. But it's just them. So if they say anything, just say what? Like you never fart. Get out of here. I just play it off like that, and then everybody will have a good laugh, and they'll go on and go on with themselves. But I don't even. This is not a big deal. And they were very polite because they didn't want you. They didn't want to embarrass you, so they were very polite. But just start adopting my grandmother's attitude. She didn't give a damn. Just more room outside than in. That's the phrase, okay? And it's true because if you hold in a whole bunch of farts, man, you will feel like you're about to explode. So chances are my grandmother was correct, and so just say that, and then excuse me if you want to, or just laugh if it's friends. It's no biggie. Nobody cares. Question number two, male 26 to 29 from Delray Beach, wherever that is. So, my girlfriend and I are arguing because she feels we shouldn't talk about finances until we are married. And I feel we should talk about this before marriage. Am I wrong? I feel talking about future plans and investments and how we spend our money now is better. That way, we don't have cause issues in the future and have this become a bigger problem that can cause more issues later on. Sorry if this sounds redundant. I had to reach a certain amount of words. Yeah, because you have to have a minimum on our form and then there's a maximum. But sometimes I wonder if that maximum thing works, right? But anyway, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. This is something, especially if you guys are discussing, marriage, which means you would be joining forces with money income as well as debt and assets, unless it's something that, each of you had before marriage, like an inheritance or something like that. That's not community property, and neither is anything that you already owned before you got married. But, listen, you were saying you're a young couple, you're only in the 26 to 29 age group. So you guys will be acquiring, things. You need good credit so that you could qualify for good interest rates on mortgages and vehicles and whatever else you want to buy. So that is extremely important. And you want to know, I mean, I would think if a person who is very good with money and has managed their money well and has a nice savings and good credit ratings and all of that, they'll stay on top of their bills, no bill collectors calling, all that kind of stuff, then you're going to want to know how joining with this person and their debts and their, behavior with money would impact you. That is a normal thing. Now, for someone to feel like they want to hide what they're doing and saying, well, this shouldn't be until after we're married. Nope, you're absolutely wrong because some of that stuff, it'd be like a bomb and then you find out after it's too late to do anything about it because it could be the thing that maybe if she's got some crazy debt she should file bankruptcy before you get married or get on some kind of debt pay down program or throw away her credit cards because she's not handling them right or empty out whatever she has as a savings and pay the debt off because the interest rate that she's making on the savings account is less than what she's paying for interest. It doesn't make sense to throw money away like that. Stuff like that. These are things that all need to be discussed, laid out on the table, and negotiated for how you guys are going to handle it. What percentage of the debt would you be is acceptable to you to take on for you to help her pay? This kind of stuff. These are all things Is she expecting to get a raise, or you, or anyone changing jobs, going back to school that's going to reduce income? I mean, when do you plan to have kids? I mean, all these kind of things could impact the household income and outgo. And these things should all be discussed before you ever say I do. And if there's any issues and she got like major debt or whatever, be sure to get a prenup. That's all I'm going to tell you. Question number 3. This is from a female in the 37 to 45 age group. It says no location provided. Yeah, we gonna. That's why I told her he needs to know. And if she don't want to pay, I mean, she don't want to talk about it, then don't marry till she does. That's gonna be how that rolls. Thanks for taking my question. I'm in my 40s and have only dated 3 men. I married the first guy at 19, divorced 7 years later. Girl, you had no business getting married at 19. No children, rolled into another dysfunctional relationship for 10 years, and now in my current relation. I have a master's. I built a solid company, have my life perfectly together, except when it comes to men. I don't know why I see red flags and ignore them anyway. Oh, that's very telling. I look in the mirror, my bank account, my resume, and I see the total package. Yet when I stand before any man I'm in a relationship with, I see a desperate loser. Why? I come from a neglected childhood but have done years of therapy to clean that up. How do I make how I feel on the inside match how I look and feel on the outside? Why do I only attract dusties who put a spotlight on my insecurities? Please help me. I feel like I have done everything right, but now how I feel doesn't reflect that at all. How do I attract a man who values me? Thanks. Oh, this is a heavy lift for this little column that's not really meant to go this deep. But let me see what I can do in just a few minutes here. Um, I think the key is here. The key sounds like it's in here, this one sentence. I don't know why I see red flags and ignore them anyway. And you're asking me why? You don't want to know the answer to that question. There's something that you're looking to get out of these situations, these relationships, these situationships. There's something that you're looking for. What that look thing is, I don't know. You'd have to really delve into your heart and see, there's something missing. In spite of all this therapy that you've had, there's something that you feel is still empty and you're trying to fill it up in a fantasy way with these men that are not going to be able to do it. They're incapable. When people show you who they are and them red flags start popping up, you have got to pay attention to those and you have to acknowledge them and you have to run away from them pretty much. I mean, you have enough going on in your life from your own history that you're trying to deal with. You can't be taking on anybody else's drama and baggage. You cannot do that. You're obviously not strong enough. So you have to, you're in your 40s now. Come on now. You've had therapy. I don't know, maybe you need to go back or try a different therapist, somebody who's going to be more like me. And when you start talking all this stuff, they're not going to be like, that is sad. Why do you think that happened? It's not. Somebody who's going to say, look, this is what happened. This is what you did. This is how you got yourself into that mess. Don't do that shit no more. That kind of therapist, that's the kind that you need that's going to really rock your world. But this is the thing about it. What I would suggest is that you get out a pen and paper and you start making a list of the red flags that you saw, that in retrospect you saw them and you ignored them. Go back to your first relationship and start from there and give yourself weeks to finish it because you're going to try to block some stuff out. And you look at it. You look at it, and in the next column, I want you to write beside it each one of those red flags you saw, what ultimately happened and how that ignoring that red flag hurt you, and go deep. Make a complete and thorough list. And I think by the time you get done with that exercise, you will see, it's different when you just think it, but when you see it in black and white, you can't run away from it. And that might be something for you to, book some more sessions with your therapist, or like I said, find a new one and take that with you and say, this is my relationship pattern. this, well, how do I change it? And then you can give it to that person and they will have something tangible to work with. And they'll see that you've already done a lot of work to even produce that list. Okay. That's as best as I can come up with off the cuff for something this deep, because this is something we could talk about this for hours. I mean, if we're, just the two of us. But I'm giving you the instructions for what to do. You do the exercise first. And like I say, give yourself a month or so. Don't try to rush in and do it in one day. Oh, no, no, no. You got to go through every single relationship. The ones that you got into, the ones you rejected, the ones who rejected you, everything, all of them. And then be honest with yourself, and then you find yourself a good therapist. I suggest you find you somebody on the Association of Black Psychologists website that's in your area, and you take your little self on to over there to a sister who's going to really give you what you need, okay? And then you can turn this around. Thank you, Leandra. This is really sad, but unfortunately, this is a very common problem because you see women who have their stuff so together, socially, which is what, work and careers and jobs and all that stuff, companies, those are social things. And they have themselves so together in that respect, educated, all kind of degrees, all kind of stuff and dress nice on I mean all of it, everything on the list, except when they get into a relationship is when it all comes out, all those insecurities, all those vulnerabilities, all the baggage, all the trauma, everything comes out once they're in a relationship, and it's just like raw. So at least you've had some therapy, you've had some. But I'm thinking this is going to be the next level because you giving your therapist something tangible to work with. Whereas, normally people just go in there and they just sit there and start talking about stuff that don't have nothing to do with nothing. You're going to go right in it. You're going to be targeted. This is what I want to work on. Here's the copy. And this is all we going to work on. And so let's go. That's what you're going to do. Okay. Yep, they get married when they got financial challenges. People have addiction issues. They got money problems. They got no job. Their credit's all jacked up. Their attitudes all jacked up, and they still marry them anyway. And I just don't understand that. So let's move on to question number 4. Hope that this gives you a good answer. Okay, male, 30 to 36, from Greensboro, North Carolina. We have been dating for 3+ years, living together for 1. My girlfriend's 34 and I am 31. Though we're older, it's the first time either of us has cohabitated with someone, and it's the happiest we've been in our lives, and we consider each other our soulmates. Oh boy. We have even talked about marriage and told each other's parents about it as well. COVID has prevented that from happening right away. When we started dating, we agreed to not have children since we both have good jobs and want to travel and have fun in life. We did decide, though, that if either one of us changed our mind, we'd let the other know. Okay, so we agreed not to have kids. All right. Recently, I've seen some of my close friends and cousins have children, and that has slowly changed my mind. I was not a huge dog person since I was chased by a kid by a crazy dog. We did get a dog though because she absolutely loves him, and even the dog has changed something paternally inside of me, if that makes sense. On top of this, my great uncle, who didn't have kids, talked to me about what a big mistake it was, and he realized it too late. His wife passed away, and he doesn't have anyone to rely on or take care of him, so maybe that has something to do with his regrets. Hmm, it could. But I think sometimes, when people get older, they look forward to having relationships with their kid. There's someone who knows their spouse and loves their spouse as much as they do. And it's just the night, then there's grandchildren. There's somebody for them to be around and talk to and not be lonely and to still love and give that, energy and devotion to that they can't give, to the wife anymore because she's gone. So sometimes this is that. It's nothing more deep than this person just wants to have somebody around to love. That's all. So for the first time in our relationship, I'm absolutely clueless about how to tell her something. I feel absolutely sick at the thought of life without her, but I really want to have children now. Any suggestions on how I can communicate my feelings properly are welcome. Thank you so much for your insight, Deb. Well, dude, you in your 30s now, and whatever. Okay, you've been dating for 3 years, so you got together when you was still in your 20s. You know how much people change? That's why I tell people don't get married until after you in your 30s because you change too much in your 20s. And see, here's a perfect example. Something as dramatic as wanting to be a father. That is like a huge decision to make. Well, I don't want to be, when you're only in your 20s. I mean, you could say, well, I personally think even if someone's really not that interested in it, to just say to yourself and to people, well, right now, that's nothing I'm interested in. You know what that does? It gives you flexibility because then you don't have the anguish that you're going through right now because you made a definitive statement at 26 or something that now at 31 you're reconsidering, which would be a normal thing. So I'm going to tell you to do this. Sit your girl down and say, when we got together, I was 20 whatever, you was 20 whatever, and now, and one of the things that we discussed was that we didn't want children. And at the time when I said that was true. That is exactly how I felt. There was no lying there. However, after the years have gone by, I have changed my outlook, and now I do want to be a father. I wanted to give you the opportunity to tell me how you feel about that, if you're still on that same page, or if there's any room there for you. Are you considering it? Have you changed your mind and were afraid to tell me? Are you still on that same page? Just be honest. And then give her room to be honest. Now, the only thing is if she still says no, what are you going to do? You have to start, before you approach her, you need to have that thought in mind. Because if she says, I absolutely don't want any more children, I know I don't want any children, period, and I'm going to stick to my original thing, then you have a decision to make. And it would basically mean either you going to have a baby with somebody else and still be with her, which I don't think is going to fly too well, or it means you two are going to have to break up so that you can go and make the dream that you have for your life of being a father and husband, not just a husband, come true. You deserve to have that if that's what you want, just like she deserves to have no children if that's what she wants. Neither one of you are wrong. Don't interpret what I'm saying to be that. Neither of you is wrong. Each of you would be making a choice that suits your life, your principles, your dreams, your goals, and it's okay. It's okay. But what is good if they're so divergent that you are not on the same page anymore, then it's going to be time for you guys to make a really hard decision and to move on from each other because there's no negotiating a kid. I mean, they're either here or they not. It's not like, you have half a kid, sometimes a kid, three-quarters of a kid. Nope, you got a whole kid and you're going to be somebody's whole daddy. So, it's a lot to think about, a lot of responsibility. And, there's a lot of joy and benefits to it as well. But, you definitely want to make sure that, what is going on here? You definitely want to make sure that what you're trying to do here is going to really work for you. Okay. So let's move on. Wow. Question number 5, female 50 to 56, no location provided. I need advice on dealing with a violent stepson who's being invited to my house by my husband. I really need your help figuring out how to handle this situation. When I married my husband 11 years ago, his children were mostly grown. At the time, I was 41 and he was 55. So that's 11 years ago. So that means he's 66 now and she's 52. His oldest son is now 36 and has a history of violence against his girlfriends. Oh, hell to the no. He has managed to stay out of jail for those incidents until this last one a month ago, where he almost strangled his girlfriend and the mother of his 1-year-old daughter to death. He is currently out on bond. The girlfriend reached out to me while he was in jail, and I offered her assistance in getting away from him permanently. She refused my assistance and took him back. Now they are traveling here to see his father. He has a court date for felony charges back in his home state in a couple of weeks. I'm scared for my own safety because of my communications with her, including text messages. I was very clear that I thought that he needed to be in jail. My husband refused to believe his son is capable of hurting me and has invited them into our home to visit while they are here for the week. They are not staying with us while in town. I don't want him in my home. I told my husband that I will leave the house while they are here and I need to know when they are coming. I believe my husband should not allow him in our home because of my concerns. He can visit with them where they are staying. He wants to see his grandchild, which I completely understand. I've never felt my husband has ever stood up for me. I'm actually considering leaving for a longer period of time to assess whether or not I really want to stay any longer with this man. I need to find a way to deal with this situation that ideally doesn't put my husband in a position of choosing between me or his son. Are you crazy? Of course that's what he's going to have to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts here. There's no maybe. There's no compromise. Either he's going to let that murdering ass woman abusing son of his stay in the house, or he's not. There's no halfway point here. And you should have called both of them and told them that they weren't coming to the house. No matter what the daddy says, if you call the police and say this boy has been in jail for abusing this woman right here, half choking her to death, I don't want him anywhere in my house. He should still be in jail. They will cart him away because he is not welcome there. And the husband could be mad if he wants to, but guess what? Your feelings of your safety in your home trump all of his feelings from wanting to see his son and his grandchild because there's an open court case and you have every right to be concerned. I wouldn't want him nowhere near me, especially he got a history of doing that kind of stuff when he get mad. Okay. So that's how I would have handled it. I would have called them both and said, I know your daddy invited you, but let me tell you what, don't come here because I don't want you here in my house. You don't know how to act. Your temper is out of control. And when you get upset, bad things happen. So I don't want you here. If your daddy's going to come and see you wherever you stand, let me know where that is. And I'll give him the information. He can go see you. Or you can call him on his cell phone and tell him. But either way, do not show up at this house or I will call the police and have you carted away. So I'm putting you on notice now. You're not welcome here. That's what I would have told him. Little strangling ass fool. You don't get to come to my house because you know how my mouth is. I'll be sitting up there like, what's wrong with you? Why do you think that you have the right to put your hands around people's throat and be choking them? And what's wrong with you, dumb bunny? You sitting up there and took him back to the house after he tried to kill you? You are stupid. Both of you are crazy, and I don't want you nowhere in my house. So see, that's neither one of them would have got to come up in there. And you offered her help, and she turned it down and took him back. I could see turning it down, but then turned around and took him back too after he tried to kill her. See, that's something wrong with her. So she couldn't be at my house because the next thing he might kill her at my house, and then you're gonna be all embroiled in a murder case. And then what if he comes after you? What you gonna do in your 50s? Probably not lifting no weights or something, so you wouldn't have a good chance unless you got a gun. So, all in all, I'm just looking at this scenario and all I see is just bad things. So thank you, T. I'm not seeing where this makes any sense. Okay. But yeah, you don't want him in your house. He's out on bail rather. He best not come up there. That's how you want to know what I would have done? That's what I would have done. And your husband who's never stood up for you, yeah, that is something to think about because it's like you're basically married and giving him all the creature comforts of having a wife, but you still feel alone and abandoned in the relationship. What kind of marriage is that? I don't get it. But let me see here what's going on. Why is this like this? Oh, YouTube is just not my friend most of the time. All right, here we go. Let's move on to question number 6. This is a male in the 40 to 46 age group from Bakersfield, California. Good afternoon, Deb and Candace. So I'm not legally divorced yet, but separated. We don't talk, but we live and sleep in different rooms and so on, but under the same roof. I haven't seen my parents for over a year due to the pandemic. They got vaccinated recently, so am I, and my parents are coming to visit me in the summer. My legal spouse said that they are not coming, just wait, watch, and see if they come. This is my property. I purchased it before we got married, and the title is in my name only. Can she do something, assuming my parents do show up and I insist they are staying? I mean, legally, what can she do? Any legal tips you may have would be appreciated. Where are you again? Oh, you in California. Oh, yeah. What you have to do is, I hope you found your legal separation paperwork, right? Did you do that, or you just talking about we separated because we in the same house and we ain't speaking? I mean, what kind of separation are we talking about here? But if you have a legal separation that has been granted by the court, and you have documents that are all stamped by the court clerk and all this old stuff here, then you serve her, check with the whatever Bakersfield County law. I don't know what county that is. You check with whoever's in charge of evictions and stuff like that, and you file a unlawful detainer to tell her to get out. That she has 30 days to leave the premises. You want to do that now so that the 30 days and any subsequent court action will all be over and done with by the time your parents show up in like July or August, right? You said summer. Hope you didn't mean June because that's too close. So, that'll give you time. So she'll be gone. She'll be cleared out by July or August. Gone, bye-bye. And then your parents, you'll have plenty of room for them. They can be in the room that she was sleeping in, and y'all can have a good time in the house you own. That's what I would do. Yeah, what's she gonna do? It's like, bitch, your name's not on shit here, and you a squatter from the ex-wife that you don't even belong here. You don't have no rights, no say so. Get the fuck out. That's how the real me would say it, but the me that wants to do things by the book would go through the court system and then give her the boot. And if she didn't leave by the deadline date, I would have the sheriff's department on speed dial. Come get this bitch. She won't leave. And then I'd have a locksmith ready. And the second they dragged her ass out the house and tossed her stuff out after her, I would tell the locksmith commence to changing all the locks. If I had an alarm system, I would commence to changing the key code. And then I would be, bye, bitch. That's it. The end. Okay, let's move on. Another world problem solved. Question number 7, female, 30 to 36 from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Hello, Miss Deb and Candace. Thank you for all you do. I really appreciate both of you. Oh, is it possible to meet someone in a very unsavory place and have a relationship that works out? My best friend from childhood, Christy, has a tendency to fall madly in love. Stop being scary, cutie Tay, cut whatever. What's your name? Anyway, don't be a scary thing. We don't spread fear mongering in my chat room. Okay, we don't do that. We stick to facts, not fears. Most of these women have enough of those that's already unreasonable. They don't need nobody pumping them up with more of them. Okay, so let's curtail that. Okay. My best friend from childhood, Christy, has a tendency to fall madly in love, but she doesn't fully commit, so the guy leaves her and breaks her heart. Then she's devastated for a few years, and the cycle repeats. Christy works for a popular popcorn website, Yes, an eggplant website. And a few months ago, she started texting with Jimmy, quote, Jimmy, a customer on the website. Lives near Louisville, which is over 700 miles away from us. He flew to Minneapolis and stayed with her in late April, where according to her, they had amazing eggplant and talked about their interests. Now Christy is head over heels for Jimmy and says she wants to commit to him fully. He is planning another visit to her house in June. I am mind blown, and the red flags in this situation are blinding. I know she's an adult, but as a lifelong friend, this has me very concerned. She turned 40 in January and has absolutely no sense of self preservation, and she didn't vet this guy at all. She saw he was cute and basically threw herself at him, and he seemed to go along with it. Is my friend being stupid? Is it all at all possible the guy could actually work out for her despite how they met? Should I prepare to have her crying on my couch for 3 days like the last time she got dumped? What do you think of this? Thank you very much. Well, some women are just very hungry for love, affection, male validation, somebody to touch and hug on them. They just anybody and everybody. They want that. And a guy who, obviously she's displaying herself like that on the website. She doesn't have a lot of the same boundaries about, mm, you know, most women are just a little more, I don't want, what's the word? Shy. I don't know. Maybe not shy, but they just don't want to be on display like that. There's a certain element of women that don't mind it. But usually, when you look into their history, you see that there's a lot of abuse, usually of a sexual nature, a lot of low self esteem, no boundaries in childhood, and they carry that into adulthood. That's what's usually at the core of women who work in the sex industry. So, in this particular situation, she's 40 years old. She ought to be knowing better than this. What you're going to have to do is tell her, this looks like a repeat of some stuff that you've done before. Are you prepared to deal with the fact that he might just be here for the good time? And, you don't know what he has going on at his house, why he's getting away coming to yours. He hasn't invited you there. He's coming here again. So what's going on at his house that you can't visit with him? Start laying those little groundwork, that little crumbs for her, so she can start thinking along those lines. And you don't have to say you're being stupid or anything. Just remind her of the past, and then ask her some pointed questions about this guy, and then let her just marinate on it. But if she wants to come crying on your couch again, I mean, I know that you're a good friend and all of that. But see, my thing is when my friends do stupid stuff after I already told them don't do doing stupid stuff and they insist on doing it anyway, do not come over here with that. I have very firm boundaries in that respect. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to hear his name. Don't call me. Don't send me no emails. Don't text me. No Instagramming, no Facebook, nothing. I don't want to hear it. Leave my nerves and me out of it. And so that's how that goes. So, I think he supported her enough. The support is over. That's how it be with me. Okay, let's move on. Number 8. This is a male in the 26 to 29 age group out of Independence, Missouri. Never heard of it. My girlfriend has massive insecurities and depression. We are both 27 years old. We decided it's best she not work and focus on her mental care while I looked after us both financially. One of the biggest coping mechanisms is her belief in God. She is a Christian and prays a lot. She is not the far end type which don't have premarital eggplant. Nothing wrong with that. 2 months ago, though, while my girlfriend was running for some groceries, she got assaulted. I consoled her and became her anchor through the time. However, she got pregnant. It is not my child because I broke my hand and have not indulged in anything with her since. So we are 100% sure it is that guy's. At first, I told her we should abort, and she agreed. She then talked to her pastor, who told her to keep the baby, who told her the baby was not at fault, and now she is adamant to keep it. Oh. I am 100% sure that I do not want to be raising another man's child, especially a rapist kid. I told her if she does it, we are done. She got emotional and tried to rope into a fantasy of being a father to this child. I told her no, it's the baby or me, and after a lot of consideration, she's choosing the baby. She is living with me rent free and also on my health insurance. I told her I would be taking both of those things away, but she questioned how much I love her. Tell her you don't love her anymore. I'm telling you, you're going to have to be like the most roguest nigga ever to get yourself out of this situation. Let me tell you how this going to go if you don't take action right now. Get her out of your house. Get her off of your health insurance. Anything where that her name is on with you, remove her name. Any bank accounts, any bills for your house, anything you put. Well, she wasn't working right, so you was doing everything. Get that bitch out your house. You know why? Because now she gonna be she gonna claim she gonna put you down as the daddy, and you are going to have to prove that you're not. Luckily, we have DNA now, which has helped a lot of men escape child support and paternity stuff that they didn't have anything to do with. But you're going to have your medical records from your hand injury. You're going to have a police record. Hopefully, she filed a police charge about this assault. And the timing is going to match up to when this all happened. You can do it. They can do a prenatal DNA test and prove that the kid's not yours. You need to do that because you're gonna otherwise you're gonna be on the hook for they're gonna make us the legal assumption that you're the father and they're gonna tap you for child support and you're gonna have to put that kid on your health insurance. It's gonna be drama for days. You better pay attention to what the fuck I'm telling you and handle this shit now. Then forget all that love and all that old kind of stuff because she made her choice and her choice was not you. Okay, so your choice better be not for her. You better think about yourself. Get rid of that dust. Yeah, that pastor shit. He's probably the one who's the daddy. Oh, I'm talking shit, but I don't put nothing past them, cause they just. Mm-mm. But you get that bitch up out your house. I don't give a fuck if she better go live with the pastor and his wife then, since they think it's such a grand and wonderful idea. Tell him that you packing her stuff up and you bringing her over there, and let her go live with them. They want to rate because she don't have no job, so who gonna be paying for her and paying for all this prenatal care and all that kind of stuff? Shit. In Independence, Missouri. Get that bitch out your house. Like by this weekend. Get her the fuck up out of there. Put all her shit in some glad bags or what them trash bag, hefty bags. Moving homosexuals since 1901. Pile all her shit in some hefty bags, load it in your trunk and in your backseat, put her ass in your car, and drive her to the pastor's house. Throw all that shit out, go home, change your locks, change your number, and you should be done. I'm telling you, do it, do it, like quickly. So she 2 months ago, so now she going into her, third month. She about to end the first trimester. Get that bitch out your house. She's crazy. There's no way in this world. I mean, she's so old, her parents don't have anything to do with her. Ooh, wee. If that was my daughter, I'd be lobbying so hard that she get rid of that shit. Question number 9, female, 30 to 36 from Los Angeles. Hey, Auntie Deb, I'm writing you again because my sister lost her children to child services all because her husband got drunk and started problems. I gave my sister advice to divorce him because he comes home drunk and picks arguments. Me and my brother cannot stand him causing trouble in our household. After he got out of jail for the incident, I tried to tell people in the house not to let him back in because he would do the same thing over, but they let him back anyway. Him and my sister are taking classes to get the children back. However, he is not taking the classes. He's supposed to take what my sister's taking hers. I don't understand why she's still with them with it when he picks arguments and comes home high or drunk all the time. My question is, even though my sister's doing her part in getting her children back and he's not doing his, what will happen in the court's decision? Because the last time they went to court, the courts refused to give them back the kids because of the father's behavior, and my sisters failed to protect them. Thank you for advice. Oh, that's a wrap. It's good that she's taking all them courses and stuff, but as long as she plans to have them kids in the house with that man, because they're still married, she will not get those. She will not even get to see them kids except for supervised visitation. So it's nice that she's doing all that, but the main number one thing, she's still not. She's still under the failure to protect things. She's not going to be protecting them from anything because she's still married to that same fool. So that's what's going to happen. I've seen it happen like hundreds of times. You go into family court, I mean, they're really looking for you to toe the line and they get a report from the instructor on everybody's attendance, what your participation, what if they had any assignments, how you did on them, how you conduct yourself, who shows up. They do a roll call, right? All those documents get turned into court because this is court ordered. All of that documentation about their participation and adherence to the court order will go to be delivered to the court at the conclusion of the class. It will show that she went and it will show that he didn't. That's a wrap. They're not going to put the kids back in the house with them. That's just all that's going to happen. And it sounds like he's doing that, you know, intentionally because he doesn't want the kids. Question number 10. This is a male, 26 to 29, from Everett, Washington. How can I tell my girlfriend that crying is normal and not a bad thing? She cries a lot. We are having a conversation about something in our relationship, and she was talking about how bad she cries for everything and how she cries too much, and that is bad, especially when having conversations. I don't want to say anything too specific because I don't want her to get her wrong on accident, but essentially she wished she cried less, and she's upset that she cries too often at too many things. She said, he put this in quotes. I don't want to be weak and always cry. Quote, I don't want to change the course of the discussion or downplay other things just to cry. I was telling her that crying isn't bad and that she doesn't feel bad for crying. She shouldn't feel bad for crying and that it's very normal, but she doesn't believe me. Does you have any advice for either me or her on how to approach or think about this? I don't cry very much, so I don't understand, but hearing stories of how ladies relate would be helpful to her, as well as hearing how maybe I could help her. I can't relate to that either because I think sitting around crying all the time is a dumb bitch move. Okay? You wrote me, and I'm going to tell you, that is a bad thing. Tell her to get her ass up and do make some magic happen and stop sitting around fucking crying all the damn time. She's not two. Tell her to stop that and take action like a grown ass woman. I hate them crying bitches sitting around always boo hoo hooing about some shit. That drives me crazy. So you want somebody to sympathize with her crying, you wrote the wrong person because that person is not here. Okay? That person is not here. No. It's like, cry. No, you know what we used to do when people cried all the time? We punched the fuck out of them. Because see, in my neighborhood, if you was a crybaby, you was a punk. And you got your ass kicked. And you want to cry? Listen, we're going to give you something to cry about. And then 10 little niggas would start pounding on you. And then you really would be crying. Okay, but at least it would be for a reason. Because you just crying because you upset about something because you didn't get your turn the turn you wanted to. Or, the ball went in the street or something. I mean, go get the ball as soon as it's safe. You don't sit there crying on the curb about the ball being in the street. I'm telling you, these kids, I don't know, their parents spoiled them to death. But you know what? They got their asses kicked when they start playing with us. We didn't play that shit. We gonna pound on you a little bit, toughen you up, cause you just a big ass baby. And so that's what you got to stop letting her think that that's okay. As a grown woman, you in the 26 to 29 age group, so I'm assuming she's probably right in there with you. She on the downstroke to 30 and she's still crying like that? That is bad. That's very immature and it's very inappropriate. Be going to jobs and stuff and they gonna try to correct her behavior. She gonna sit there in her supervisor's office crying like a little bitch. You know how disgusting that is? And you thinking somebody gonna be wanting to promote her or something where the real problems are? Okay, I hope you prepared to take care of her because that crying shit is gonna keep you um keep her at home and you're gonna be the one supporting her. Because every single thing she did, every time somebody say something to her, oh, you made a typo on this document. Well, you didn't send it FedEx. You only sent it regular mail. We needed to get there tomorrow. All that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, my parents didn't say that, but we already knew that. So we just played that with our friends. You want to cry? I'm gonna give you something to cry about. So it sound like me and your parents was on the same page. Shh, shh, shh. Oh, but what's the term we used to use? Sock. Say, I'm gonna sock you. Do you guys remember that term? And we would go around pounding on people. You want to cry? Yeah, cry now. You gonna be in so much pain. You gonna be crying all night. So you got a 6, 7 little niggas pounding on your ass. You will be beat up, and then you go home and you can cry over there. But at least you have a reason why you was crying. Yeah. I don't want to see nobody crying like that. I didn't even let my daughter cry like that. She cried a little bit when she was little, but I think when she was around 4, that's when I started shitting that down. Cause we had a party at Chuck E. Cheese. You know how they had them robots? They used to have them robot things. Um, and she was scared of them. She was scared of them when we first got there, and she started crying. And I was like, at first, I was like, look, they're just mechanical. It's not real people, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wind up toy. I explained it to her, let her go up there and see the machinery and all that stuff. And then a little show started, and they start doing their little mechanical movements and stuff. And so then she kind of calmed down. But at first, she was crying and acting a fool. I had to shut that shit down. It's like, this is your birthday party. You don't be crying up in here like a fool. What's wrong with you? All this money I paid? You better straighten your face up, chick. And she did. So, If I'm not going to be around a 4-year-old crying, I'm not going to be around no 27-year-old doing it. That's not going to happen. Yeah, she was really, yeah, they were kind of creepy now that I think about it. But I mean, at the time, I didn't see it was a big deal, but she was just freaked out. She was like, mommy. Okay, let's move on. Question number 11 of 23. We got 23 questions today. This is a female in the 26 to 29 age group from Key West, Florida. Hello, Deborah. I have been listening to your channel for about 3 years now, and I want to personally thank you for all that you do to empower women. Because of listening to your videos, I have gained so much self esteem, self love, and courage as a woman that I never thought possible. Oh, that is fabulous! Thanks for sharing that. That's good. That's what we try to do here. Please know that you are making a huge difference in the lives of women that listen to you. With that said, I have to ask your opinion on my actions concerning a very painful event that just occurred in my life. I asked myself, what would Deb do? And came up with what I think is the best answer. I'm so curious. I have been married for 4 years to who I thought was the man of my dreams. We have no children because we agreed we did not want any, both of us being so career focused. In any case, I caught my husband being unfaithful recently, which devastated me. However, I have remained stoic and I have not shown him any outward manifestation of my grief and pain, but calmly gave him an ultimatum. Thanks to your video about mastering your emotions as a woman. Girl, get it. That's what I'm talking about. Stay focused. You know, you can do all that later after you handle your business, but you got to stay focused. Sounds like you're doing a great job. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, when caught with his side chick, he cried and begged me for forgiveness, which I refused to do. I instead told him that the only way I will stay in the marriage is if I get with another man and have an affair as well, mirroring. But the difference is he will have full knowledge of my actions. I want him to feel the same betrayal and devastation that he has inflicted on me. He can either agree to that or an immediate divorce. I told him take his pick. This ultimatum is non-negotiable. Savage. Of course, he is angry at the ultimatum and devastated. I won't just forgive and forget like every other woman on the planet, but oh well. He is now dealing with a graduate from Deborrah Cooper University, not some pick Misha who will put up with anything to keep a man. He has 1 week from today to give me his decision. I am hoping he chooses divorce because I will never trust him again anyway. My friends say I am dead wrong for giving such an ultimatum that I should go to counseling to understand why he had an affair and save my marriage, but I refuse. He was the one that was unfaithful, but it's up to me to save the marriage? I don't think so. Why is it always up to women to be the sacrificial lambs to save a marriage? Please tell me what you think, Deb. Would you have done what I did or chosen another path? If so, what? I will be listening and take any advice you give me because I want to get on with my life, husband or no husband. Thank you again, Deb. Oh, absolutely. That mirroring girl is the best way. But the only difference with me is I wouldn't have told him. I just would have went and did it. And then came back and told him that that's what I did, and now we even. How does it feel, motherfucker? How does it feel? And start singing that song. But you know, this is it, and your friends are confused because this is you are exactly right, and I'm so happy you wrote and shared all this. You are so focused and you are so in charge of what your life is going to be. I love it. Because this, I know he's stunned. He don't know what to do because he do that and then, beg and whine and cry around a little bit and that everything would go back to normal. Then he could wait a while till the heat died down and tip on back over there with her or with someone new because, you let it slide. So in this way, he knows he's going to either have to shit or get off the pot. And either way, he's not going to like it. But you know what? He set this dynamic in motion himself. His decision has repercussions. And that's the part that I think a lot of men don't want to accept. And a lot of women don't want to stand up for it. They don't have that boundary. This is like savage, large, in charge, boss, all kind of shit. So just like which one you want, motherfucker, because it's going to be A or B. There's no C. It's A or B. And so that man is stressing out like a crazy person. He don't even know what to do. Yeah, we are all very proud of you. We're very proud of you. And so what I would do then is, what I would do is see an attorney. You can probably get the papers drawn up by a paralegal. I don't know what you guys have as far as investments, property, and all that stuff, how you might want to divide it up, sell it and split the proceeds. Everybody take their own retirement, their own investments, whatever, because you only been together 4 years and you are, yeah, you 20, you're in your late 20s. You probably don't have too much in retirement, all that kind of stuff. But whatever you have, it should stay yours. You let him keep his. You guys keep your vehicles. You don't have any children, so there's no child support and all that. So the most that you might have at such a young age, only been married for 4 years, is a home, right? And so, and some community debt. So you guys talk, talk about how you would divide that and divide your assets, and then just say hasta la vista, baby. It's been magic. Yeah, the side chick won't want him because they a lot of these women they don't really want a relationship with the man. They like being the side piece because there's like the wives have the drama, the cooking, the cleaning, making sure he goes to the doctor, buying presents for his family at Christmas time and birthday presents and all. Do you know that's drama? You don't realize how much work that is. Cleaning the bathroom after they pee on it and everything. I mean, it's drama. So the side chicks don't want that. They're very happy in their, just seeing him for the fun and the good times and then sending him back home. So she might surprise him and not want him at all. Some of these two women, some of these women really do want it, doesn't want it, a relationship. They just want to be the side piece, get their little physical needs met, some little companionship here and there, and then go on where they need to be. Well, I want you though to see an attorney though. Talk about this stuff. Usually they can do a consultation. Sometimes it's free. It's a reduced rate through the bar association, that kind of thing. And see what your options are. What's the best step? And how you can get your, how much they would charge to draw up your paperwork and all of that. It should be not really contested because it's not, like I said, you guys are so young, you don't even really have much accumulated yet. But it should be a pretty simple dissolution. And he gonna talk. He gonna think about you for the rest of his life. Oh, this is so savage. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Excellent job. And soon as after you get everything handled, then you can go somewhere, take yourself into a hotel or spa or something, and have your breakdown. Because you're gonna have one. All the dreams that we have when we get married don't just disappear just because we're mad or hurt and stuff. They're still there. But there's a grieving process you're gonna be going through. But you're not gonna do it now. You're going to wait until all of this dust settles. Then you pack and you go somewhere and you cry and you throw stuff and you stomp around and you do whatever you want to do for that weekend. And then you going back to being large and in charge. You never let him see that side of you. And watch what you say to your friends. Okay? Watch that. That's my last warning. Question number 12, male 30 to 36 from Costa Mesa, California. Recently, my fiance gave me a free pass to have eggplant with other women. Ugh, this was the second time. Oh, wait, was that a man? I don't remember. I told her I'm not interested in an open relationship and I have enough with one, and she's already a handful, thinking it was a joke or something. She then told me that she doesn't want an open relationship. She'll keep having eggplant with me exclusively, but I can see other women. At this point, I thought it was some kind of shit test. She doesn't do this kind of thing, but that was the only logical explanation for me. A few days later, she insisted this time that she'd like me to do it, and while she doesn't want to be there, she wants me to talk to her about it in detail. I didn't really reply as I was kind of stunned. Hopefully, so I'd say because I know I would have reacted badly and probably hurt her feelings. This is a total no-go for me. I can't even stand thinking about it. But I can't say that even the idea of her kink sends shivers down my spine, and I don't know how to formulate it properly. Even if I ended up agreeing for some reason, I fear it might end up damaging our relationship. So I have two questions for you. One, how can I tell her that I won't ever do it without shaming her? Kinks are very intimate. It must have been hard for her to come out and talk about it. Proof is she didn't tell me exactly what she wanted the first time, but tried to trick me into it. There's no hard feelings, though. If any woman listening to this shares this interest, what is the appeal? I am seriously confused here and just don't get it. Okay, well, I don't know no black woman who would be going for this shit. Let's just start there. Okay. Um, I think you calling it a kink. I'm not sure what this is, why she's doing that. Part of me thinks, okay, did she do something and this is her way of dealing with her guilt, for you to have the opportunity to even the score so she won't have to tell you? Or does she really, have this fantasy? Because as far as that fantasy goes, if that's if her thing, you can look in, like, I don't know, Penthouse magazine or something like that, and take some of them stories that they have. They probably have some websites that have stories like that, and you just take the story and read the stories or two and put them together and tell her what she wants to hear, and see how she responds. Don't tell her that it's not true. Wait until after, and then show her where you got it from, and then see how she responds to that. That would be my shit test. Like, yeah, yeah, let me tell you about what happened, and tell her like it's first person, but just repeating what you read in the story, in the little magazine. We don't know that. So I said that's a possibility, but there's a lot of people that have that freak side. I don't know what that is. These men that want to watch other men screw their wives, and women that want. I mean, she don't want to watch, but she just wants him to do it and then talk to her about it. So there's some fantasy that she wants to live like that. I mean, maybe she's into women, and this is her vicarious. She's really bi, and this is her way of getting some kind of thrill through him. There's so many possibilities here other than that she's cheating. That's one. But I mean, there could be a whole dozen other things that's behind this conversation. So we don't want to say that with definitiveness, like y'all is over there swearing on a stack of Bibles, like that have all the facts and you Perry Mason or some shit. You don't know nothing. But well, that's what I would do, sir. That's the test I would do. I would go and pick up one of the magazines or find some one of the little popcorn sites that has stories on it and memorize one or print some out or something and try to memorize it and, embellish it, make it exciting, draw on some shit from before you met her or something, put it all together and then tell her that and see how she responds. That would be my test. And then if it's not, she don't respond in a very good way, say, pull that paper out and say, this is what I read this off of. This is what I memorized because I just wanted to see what you was gonna do. Okay, but you can't put the name of of a site like that in my chat, case Ra. What is wrong with you? You know that. You can't do that. Notice how we use euphemisms and we don't say the names of anybody's channels. We don't say the name of any sites. You've never heard that happen. So don't be typing stuff like that in my chat. Now I had to delete it. Come on now. Oh, let's move on to question number 13. Female 30 to 36 from Cardiff, Wales. Okay, so I've been through a couple of meals and I do not want to repeat. I understand that. I've been with this guy since the end of July last year. It's been, for the most part, pretty lovely. We see each other every day, met each other's kids, talk on the phone a lot, have keys to each other's houses, etc. But I've noticed a few things. He gets lots of work calls, but quite often when it's a woman's name on display, he won't pick up while I'm there, although he picks up most of his other calls. Sometimes these calls are pretty late due to the nature of his job, which isn't unusual, but still I don't have men calling me, say, at 11:30 p.m. unless it's an emergency. I've noticed he also has some women's names saved with the fire emoji next to it. Oh, does he now? And yesterday he removed a tag of himself on a post I put on Facebook, thanking various people in my life as it had been a bit of a crazy start to the year. The tag was there since February, but it disappeared yesterday. When I asked him, he got very angry and defensive and said it wasn't him and he doesn't know how it happened. He has since deleted Facebook. Oh. He also had Tinder installed on his iPad still a while ago. I asked him about it. He deleted it, but got annoyed at me that I had asked him about it. I've also had someone create a fake Facebook profile and message me about him. Whenever I try and talk to him about it, he gets annoyed and angry. Says I do not trust him, and then says he will spend less time with me and keep his weekends to himself from now on, or he'll be happier single and similar things like that. Okay, fair enough. When he saw he removed the tag, I did get angry and raised my voice a bit, but I didn't swear or say anything rude. We had a couple of arguments, but I apologized. He accepted it, but he refused to come visit me that night. He has had issues with me and can be very aggravated and rude. I feel like I'm always apologizing. I do love him and do want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but should I be questioning it above? Absolutely, and you should love yourself, which you're not doing right now. You got all this kind of suspicious behavior and you really think that this man is just down with you? There's nothing about him that indicates by all of these different things. I mean, just one maybe. But when you put them all together, This is a man who's not serious about you. You just want a mini chick. Okay, you calling him your boyfriend, but it may have started out that way, but it ain't that way now. So you got something to think about. How you want to run this situationship that you find yourself in. Let's move on to question 14. 26 to 29-year-old female out of Canada. I'm 29, my boyfriend is 28, and he's very sweet, which I'm grateful for because his mother and older brother are really rude and mean. I honestly don't think his mom taught him anything about how to properly clean or care for himself. Deb, his personal hygiene as well as his environmental hygiene is quite poor. He doesn't see why he should have to wash his hands after peeing, so he doesn't. He has a bad tooth that has turned black and he will not go to the dentist. He wears dirty clothes at times and doesn't seem to care. He also always leaves a mess whenever he goes. He makes no real effort in picking up, but no, he does make an effort in picking up, but isn't good at it. He seems to actually prefer leaving things dirty and has complained that things don't always have to be like at a hotel, when honestly, I am a relatively messy person and just want things to be clean, not perfect. But my standards, which are again not that high, are unreasonable in his eyes. But he is also a very self conscious and anxious person. I'm afraid of embarrassing him or making him feel bad, but I really can't live like this. I feel like a nag all the time, and I don't feel like I should have to feel this way. What am I supposed to do? Stand outside the bathroom door and make sure he washes his hands and flushes the toilet like a child? It feels so unfair of a position to be in. That's because you're being dumb right now. You're almost 30 years old. It's great that he's a nice person, but he's like Pigpen and you're not. And so, can you imagine him handling a newborn child with his pissy fingers and creating an environment where a child might be crawling around looking, on a floor like that, that he just leaves shit everywhere? Kid picks up something, chokes to death on it. I mean, there's no future with this man. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You're wasting your time. And at 29, that's not 20. Wait, how did you say you are? Yeah, you 29, he's 28. He's both of y'all on the downstroke to 30. This is not how you should be spending your time. This is some shit a 17-year-old girl would do, but this is not something for a woman almost 30 years old. Get rid of this dust bucket. Nasty slob, disgusting just filthy pig. All kind of bacteria and shit on him because if he's not washing he don't want to wash his hands. He's probably not washing his body that great either. And you didn't want to put all this stuff on there, but I'm sure that he obviously doesn't did good dental hygiene because he's got a rotten tooth in his mouth. When's the last time his ass been to the dentist? Stuff like that. I have all kind of questions, and all I'm telling you is that this dude is ill. Okay, how can you even let him touch you? Me getting all kind of yeast infections and shit. I'm just gross. I'm grossed out. Mm-mm. No, I don't know where's your parents. They should be like kicking your butt right about now. You're not gonna bring this boy home to their house so he can be touching on their shit with his pissy dick fingers. That's just gross and disgusting. Ugh. Ooh, your house where after he's been there, bacteria just crawling. Ugh. Question number 15, female 26 to 29 from Warrington, England. I found out my 31-year-old husband cheated on me with my older sister's husband. Okay, so your husband's 31, you're 29, and the husband of your sister is 36. He's the oldest of everyone. So 31-year-old husband cheated with a 36-year-old man. Your brother-in-law, okay. I don't even know what to say. We have been friends since I was 10, dated since I was 20, and got married when I was 23. This isn't the first time my husband has cheated. Oh, really? He cheated on me with a woman 3 years ago. We were going to get a divorce, but we changed our mind after he promised he would never do it again. Well, it don't sound like he did. He switched up. You said don't cheat with a woman. He didn't. I'm making jokes, but you know what? Okay. My brother-in-law and my sister have been together since she was 16 and got married at 26. My sister is planning on getting a divorce. I'm not sure if I should do the same. My husband and brother-in-law were caught sleeping together at my sister's house after a family meal. My sister was looking at her security cameras after something went missing and she caught them. She called me and told me and my husband to come over. She confronted them both, but they are denying it happened, though the video evidence is solid proof. I don't know what to do, especially after I took a pregnancy test and now I found that I'm pregnant. You're going to get up in the morning and you're going to go to the nearest abortion clinic and you're going to terminate so that you can make a clean break from this fool who's likely to turn out to decide he's gay. Okay, that's what you're going to do. Then he and your brother in law can be a couple now because you and your sister will be like, boop, we're out. That's what you should do. Okay, you don't want to be having a baby by this fool. What did you say you are? Shit, I can't remember. You start flying around so many different ages. Okay, you're 29. Oh yeah, girl, you got plenty of time. Do not. Do not. And he already cheated once with a woman. Now he's cheating with a man, and you don't understand if you should get a divorce. What you want to cheat with on you next with a frog, a horse, a pig, a duck, a goose, an alien. What? What you waiting on? Oh my God! I stayed with you while you cheated with a woman. I stayed with you while you cheated with a man. But now you're cheating with a pig. This is the last straw. Is that what you waiting on? When you escape something like this, you want to get away clean. Shut up, Shay. Shay, what I did? Jerry. Yeah, this is some Jerry shit. But girl, no. I don't even know why this is why this. Why are you even writing this? Because by the time you saw the video of your husband and some other man fucking, you were supposed to be like, oh, go sleep somewhere else tonight because in the morning I will be putting all your stuff out. So go and find yourself a place to live. And then tomorrow afternoon, I will be serving you divorce papers. That's how fast this is going to move, son. I would even have to think about it. I would have told him while I'm peeping it, sitting there looking at the video, looking like, ooh, where you learn that position at? I'm going to be watching. And then after that, I'm going to be like, oh, we're divorced now. So, go get your shit. I don't know which one, but I would have been trying to see. I want to see what you was doing so I can talk about you on social media and on my YouTube channel. And I'm not going to use no fake name. I'm going to use your real name. And I'm going to show a picture. I'm going to show a picture of us when we were getting married and say, but this, look, and juxtapose it against the video clip of you doing nasty things with some man. I'm like, oh, wow, look at him. He done switched things big time. He all over the place. Yeah, I was like, this dude is just doing the most. Woman, man, chicken, cow, all the same to him. Question number 16. Male, 30 to 36, from Dunedin, somewhere, New Zealand. How do you know if you want to get married? What does that conversation look like with your partner? I'm at the point in my life and relationship where I feel I should be thinking about marriage more. I'm 33 and I've been with my girlfriend for a year and a half. It's still early on and we agree we are headed in the right direction. However, it's so hard for me to even say the words marriage or get engaged because I've always felt I don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. So I'm here to ask what this conversation usually looks like with your partner when it usually happens in the relationship and how you know. I do want to get married, but social media makes it seem magical and amazing or downright awful. My parents aren't wonderful examples either, so this is a tough subject for me, and I'm trying to be better about it. Any insight is appreciated. I suggest that you take your happy ass onto Amazon or some library website or something where they check out the books electronically or whatever, and you read up on everything that you can about how to have a happy marriage. There are also websites about it because this no matter what you see on social media, that's those people. Okay, that's those people and their communication style. That's those people, their family history. That's those people, their way of dealing with conflict. That's those people, their way of loving. You cannot compare yourself to anybody else. Okay, you and her are a unique couple, never before seen in the history of this earth, because you are two different people coming together for the first time in a marriage for the first time, two unique individuals. So, whatever everybody else has done, it has no bearing on what you do. Okay, you decide what kind of marriage you're going to have. And if you don't have that kind of wherewithal and that kind of determination, sir, then one should not get married. You have to be a man about this, and that means you carve your own path in life. You don't let other people dictate what goes on in your household, in your relationship with your woman. Okay? That's something the two of you need to work out. But how does it usually? I don't know. Let me see. How did my husband do it? Well, I don't know. He just blurted it out. We were just sitting at the table at my house, talking about some random. I don't even remember some random, bullshit that couples talk about. It don't mean nothing, just words. And then suddenly he just says, "Let's go to Vegas this weekend and get married." That's what he said. And without missing a beat, I said, "No, we're not going to be doing that." I mean, and then I realized what he said, and he realized what I said, and then he looked all embarrassed and heartbroken, and I was sitting there like with my eyes darting around, like, what just happened? Because I didn't, it's like I heard him, but I didn't really hear him. I just, I heard marriage this weekend, and I said no. And it wasn't like I wouldn't have wanted to marry him at some point, but I definitely didn't want to do it this weekend. My nails weren't even done. That's when I used to wear nails and stuff. I'm like, no, I have to get fly. And I had my nail appointment the next week with the lady I liked. I had waited 2 weeks to get this appointment. I wasn't trying to give that up to go to Vegas with you. I had priorities. So yeah, so he didn't talk to me for a week after that. So I don't suggest that you do that. It should be a conversation where you say something like, I was thinking about by the time I'm 35, I'd like to be married and have, a couple of kids. By the time I'm 40, I don't want to be one of them old dads. Um, how do you feel about that? Could you see us being together, raising children? And she'll either say yes or no. And see, that's a much more gentle way to broach the subject than the way that mine did it, just blurting out with a date and a time and everything. I mean, he didn't really give me much choice. There was no options. There was no wiggle room in his presentation. It had to be this weekend or, he didn't give me no other choice. And so, you say that, I'm thinking about this, a couple of years out and, this and that. So see, she has room. She has room to think about it, plan it, figure out what kind of weight she going to lose so she can get the dress she want to look fly at her wedding. I mean, there's all kind of things women need to think about. And so, she'll start getting in her mind and she most likely will be like, yes, I was thinking about that too. I would love to be married to you and this and that. And then there you go. Yes. Yes, the third time he told me that was going to be the last time he asked me, and I was like, oh shit, wait a minute, because by then, we had been together for about 2 years, and I was, I mean, when he asked me the first time, we'd only been together a couple of months, and I didn't really know him that well yet. He felt like he knew me, but I didn't know what he was talking about. I wasn't ready. I didn't know, and so. But then, I was more comfortable with the idea of being with him and we had some years together and it was different. So when he reframed it like, it's now or never. I said it like now or never the first time, but I really mean it this time. He giving me all the wiggle room he was going to give me. And so I was like, "Oh, okay." But I still wasn't really ready, but I knew my thing is this, and I'm going to share this with you too, dude. When you're with somebody, you know how I would decide that I would want to marry somebody? If I look at my life without them in it and I feel terror, I feel horror, I feel sick to my stomach, I feel like crying, I feel like I'm going to be the loneliest person on this planet if this doesn't work, if this doesn't happen. Okay, that's the person that you marry. You feel like they understand you. You're so happy, you're much happier when you're with them than when you're not. The idea of seeing them makes your heart flutter. It's not saying you love everything about them, but you definitely love more about them than you don't. And the stuff that you don't is not really that serious. It's not like they're red flags, it's just little irritants. There ain't no perfect man in this world. But that's when I would say that the talk should be happening. You look into your future and you don't see that person next to you, and your heart starts racing, you feel sick and hyperventilating, you can't breathe. That's who you married. That's your husband or that's your wife. Okay, and don't everything else. As long as they not pounding on you and being stupid, you can talk that out. Yeah, that's your person. That's it. That's it. And you just know. You just can't. So, when he died, man, that was hard. That was so hard. Oof. That's probably why I never got remarried, because I'm scared somebody might die and I have to go through that shit again. That was hard. I'm telling you, oof, my goodness. Okay, let's move on to question number 17. Female, 30 to 35, out of the UK. This has been in my head for a long time from a former relationship. We went to a nice place for a break for his birthday. I think we had eggplant once, not 100% sure. He must have expected or suggested it again, and I said no. I wasn't in the mood or whatever. And he went to the bathroom and rather audibly wanked. I don't think he closed the door fully, or maybe he did, but he was just loud as hell so I could hear him. I thought it was weird and I felt a bit uncomfortable. He was slightly sulky, I think, when he went off, and most of it went over my head because I had never been with someone who acted like that before. The relationship finished for other reasons. I also found him verging on controlling and quite jealous. What would you think of a man who acted like that? Why am I struggling so much today? Usually I have all kind of smart ass answers. But, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I would probably go over there and close the door and say, this is your private moment and you need to close the door because not everybody want to hear all that. But then, knowing me, I would probably say something foul and funky like, what are you, 16? You big fool. What you in there, Jack? I would say some rude shit to him. And tell him that's why nobody want to mess with you because you stupid. Oh, yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know. Either I would just go over there and close the door, and then while he was in there, I'd be packing my stuff quietly so I could tip out. Or I would just yell at him and tell him he's stupid and trifling and acting like he's 12 years old. He just has to deal with himself right now like a teenager. And would tell him how disgusting he is. Yeah, I don't know these letters today. I'm just like, I think because I'm still kind of recuperating from my wild weekend, and I just can't today. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Oh my God. Yeah, but we would have. You said a relationship finished for other reasons. Why? That would have been a good reason for me. You jack off in bathrooms. I don't want to be with a man who jacks off in bathrooms at a hotel. I'm out. Question number 18. Female, 26 to 29, from Pickering, Ontario, Canada. Ooh, I wonder where that is. Yeah, that's so, that's so gross. That's so gross. Some things you need to just do in private. You don't need no witnesses to your shit. Auntie Deb, I am horrified. I'm a developmental social worker, meaning I work with adults who have special needs. A couple of days ago, I learned that one of my clients was assaulted by her brother. This isn't hearsay. It came from the lady's mouth. She's 60 years old. Based on what she said, this happened over 20 years ago. The worst thing about it is that her mother knew and she protected her vile rapist son instead of her special needs daughter. My client told me that she was going to call the police and her mom stopped her. Deb, the mom just died and she had to move in with my family. I think her spending this extra time with me is what allowed her to feel comfortable enough to open up. She has a sister that's married to a wealthy man, and that sister lives in Europe. So, due to COVID, she has to quarantine and all that when she flew over for the mom's funeral. She will not be taking her sister to live with her in Europe. She had asked that her sister remain in my care of my mom and I. I will not be her legal guardian. Her sister will take that title, and my mom and I will share caregiving responsibilities. I confronted my client's sister about the assault a few hours after she told me, and the sister confirmed it. My heart breaks for her. Her own brother, the whole family has allowed this lady to be in contact with her rapist for decades. I'm saddened that they all failed to protect her. I don't want this man to walk free. What can I do to get him punished? I am fairly sure the statute of limitations has passed. I just want her to get justice and have one less creep off the street. I haven't been at peace since I've learned of this. What would Deb do? Any advice from the squad? Should I report this to police? Oh, of course you are. Aren't you a mandated reporter? You said you were a social worker. That's a mandated reporter. Why are you writing me? You should have already filed a report with Adult Protective Services and the police. That's the procedure for people in your role. You know this. Come on now. I shouldn't have to tell you this. You know what you were supposed to do. You need to get busy doing it. Whether they decide that the case is statute of limitations expired or whatever, that's not your call. Because the fact that there could be mitigating circumstances because of the fact that she is a protected class of people. You know, I don't know the laws in where are you Ontario, Pickering, how they do that. I don't know. Okay, I'm in the United States and California. All I know is what goes on here. So there could very well be some extenuating circumstances, something where there is no statute of limitations on it. Okay, you don't know that though, and it's not your decision to sit and worry about what might, could, and possibly happen with the police. What is this when people trying to make all these judgments about the police? They had the same thing happen on Friday. You don't make a decision about what the police are going to do. You do what you're supposed to do. They can get your license, get a ding on it, okay, for not doing what you're supposed to do. You are a mandated reporter of abuse. Report it, okay? And then you just let everything else happen where it's supposed to happen. I'm just, come on now. You should already handle that. Question number 19, female, 30 to 35 from Norman, Oklahoma. Okay, this is a what would Deb do question for real. Say there's someone that you like. You have a great conversation. You have great conversations over the phone. He's been after you for years. But oh, his teeth are a huge turnoff. You cannot understand this. How can a professional who has great dental insurance let his teeth get this bad? You don't know how to tell him it's his teeth. Oh dear, what's a girl to do or say? Do you know if anyone has had a similar situation? What is all this with these women worried about who else had the same problem as this? This is some bullshit. Y'all need to stop asking me that. It's not relevant who else has been through some simple bullshit like you have been through simple bullshit, okay? That's not the point. The point is you dealing with some bullshit. So stick to the facts and stop looking for everybody else to co-sign on your problems. This is ridiculous. This is like the fifth letter recently that had this kind of, thing going on where this theme. Like, has anybody else done through this? Am I the only one I mean, who gives a shit? If 500 million people going through it, if you don't want to, then that's enough. Okay? You don't have to worry about what everybody else did. And one thing I'm going to tell you is I don't fuck with people that got fucked up grills. Teeth all askew and all of that. Got different color shit going on with their teeth, gums all high and stuff. Or they got them gummy smiles because their gums all puffy and bleeding and stuff. It's like a little bit of tooth show and the rest is like puffy gums. No. No. You got gingivitis, pyorrhea, all kinds of stuff going on in your mouth. No, we're not going to touch you. Don't even stand too close to me because some of your spit might jump on my lip or something and infect my gums. Get away from me. You need to wear a mask, a COVID mask. Even if there's no COVID, you need to wear one. Ugh. No, you got to worry about teeth. People with bad teeth will tend to have heart disease. It is, you got bad, the bacteria from your fucked up gums will destroy your heart valve. You end up needing a heart valve replacement. People develop a heart murmur and stuff like that. It's because of bad dental hygiene, infections in their gums and stuff. So, your teeth, your gums will fuck you up. And you get a whole infections in your, go up into your sinuses and your head and all kind of stuff. You get infections in your gum bones, all the bones here, where your teeth. No, people don't realize how important dental hygiene is. So, and a lot of people just don't have that kind of focus. They never went to the dentist when they were children. In their family, it's not really a thing, going to the dentist. So they just don't see any importance about it. So with me though, if I had a conversation with somebody like, and he was after me, and his teeth was all fucked up, and he was trying to go in for the kiss, I'd be like, oh no, back away, jackmouth, you can't do it. Joe Jack o' lantern self with that little one tooth hanging over there. No, 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 no kisse, no can do, andale. Nah, that little bit of tooth, that little tiny bit of tooth they got, and then all the rest is gums, and the gums be puffy. You seen people looking like that, and they be having the nerve to be smiling. I'm like, you need to do that kind of smile where they cover their mouth, cause that looks nasty. Nobody want to be seeing all of that. Yeah, not yuck mouth, jack mouth, as in Jack o' lantern. That's what you be looking like. And then they want to be having the nerve to be trying to kiss on somebody with that all them bacteria. See, I'm telling y'all, I still remember that when I was in junior high school in the ninth grade and we had science. I've told the story, but I'll have to tell it again because it applies in this situation right here. And I had great dental hygiene. My mother took us to the dentist religiously twice a year. And so I'm in the class, right? And so we were supposed to bring samples to look under the electron microscope. And my mother had given me a piece of onion. So she showed me how to peel off one layer and, put it. So the thing was in the refrigerator. I went off and forgot it. I got my lunch, but I forgot to sample. She should have just put it in my lunch and then I would have remembered it, but whatever. So I get to class and it's time to put our stuff on the slide and I don't have mine. All the other kids, was using theirs. So I didn't have anything. So what I did was I took the little slide, I licked it, and I put the little cover glass thing on top and slid it under that electron microscope. And honey child, that's jack o' lantern mouth right there. Dude, I mean, I'm telling y'all, dudes, the stuff that was moving and jumping on that slide under the microscope, I was so grossed out. And we used, we flossed and brushed and did all the stuff. They had the timer there. So you brushed for 3 minutes and all this old shit. My parents were serious about our dental hygiene. And honey, I saw all that stuff moving and wiggling, and I'm looking at everybody. And I'm thinking about the people who never brush their teeth and don't floss and stuff, and thinking, wondering, okay, that they must be 10 times that much shit jumping around in their mouth. This is nasty. All that little shit was just moving and all over the slide under the microscope. I was so grossed out. I'm telling you. That's so I didn't kiss anybody until I was in college. Cause I was looking at that shit and I'm thinking, boo, everybody got that shit in their mouth, and then they want to be trying to tongue somebody down. I don't know when the last time you used Listerine and killed all that crap rolling around in your mouth. No, yeah, rethinking life. You right. Cause I'm telling you, cause every time after that, some you go to little parties and stuff, little boys want to be kissing you and stuff. I'm like, oh no, you can possibly kiss me, cause you got shit moving around and jumping around in your mouth, and I don't want it in mine. Mm-mm. Yeah. I still thought that even in college, but I made him use Listerine every time. But I'm telling you, nasty. So to think to somebody has bad dental hygiene and they're gonna have 10 and 20 times that much stuff jumping around in their mouth, oh my God. I don't know how y'all do it. Let's move on. They clowning in the chat room. Okay, question number 20. This is a female, 21 to 25, from Lansing, Michigan. Last week, my boyfriend was staying with me at my place when I had a sudden urge to go through his phone. No matter how hard I tried, the feeling just would not go away. The first night, I told myself to forget about it, but I caved in and snooped. I went through everything: messages, DMs, pictures, you name it. At first, I found search history of his on Instagram, looking up different girls, but I told myself that everyone does that sometimes, so I just should get over it, although it didn't feel great. After I thought I had looked through everything, the guilt of snooping crept in. But then I found an app called, and then, okay, somebody blocked it out, Candace, put a bunch of X's, and decided to take a look in there too. There was a folder with sexually explicit pictures that we had taken, but there was also two other folders. I opened them, and what I found absolutely horrified me. There were pictures and videos of women shopping in stores without their knowledge. It was clearly him taking these pictures and videos, and they were very clearly sexually motivated. I immediately jumped out of bed and asked him what those pictures and videos were, and that if he didn't explain it to me, then he needed to get the fuck out of my house. He ran like a track star. He came back a while later. We argued about the content of the photos. When I confronted him about his actions, explained that what he did was predatory, he broke down. He didn't try to blame what he did on the ups and downs that had happened over the course of our relationship. Of course, he's going to try to make it something to do with you. He said that things have been mentally and emotionally draining for him, which is what drove him to take those pictures and videos. He eventually admitted that what he did was wrong and that even at the time he knew what he was doing was immoral, but reiterated that he was dealing with mental health issues. Oh, he's going to cop the white boy mental health plea. I've since broken up with him, regardless of the fact that he has begged and pleaded with me to give him another chance. It feels like the only issue within our relationship that I cannot overcome. I do still love him, but I am hurt and disgusted by what he did. I broke up with him in order to maintain my own mental well being and happiness. I just want to make sure that my actions were justified. See, you looking for somebody to approve of you? You can't make a decision on your own? You need somebody to tell you that it's okay, like you too? Grow up. Okay, you handled it like a boss, and then you trying to fold at the end. Oh, I don't know. Did I have the right to do that? Oh, was that the right decision? Nobody has approval of what you do for your life but you. Okay, I want to reiterate that before I answer. Absolutely, you did the right thing. And that he needed to get the fuck out if he wasn't going to explain. You didn't even have to explain because you already knew the answer. You just wanted to hear him say it, I guess. I don't know, but it's nice that he did. He admitted what he did, but you already knew what he did. So why even have this conversation? That's I don't like to waste extra words, but he wants another chance? Absolutely not. You don't get another chance. Something's wrong with you. And the fact that he couldn't even own it, he's gonna try to make it have something to do with you. You see what I mean? It's just that flipping the thing. He can't say I made a decision to do this pervy stuff on my own because I was having some whatever issues and I wasn't handling them like a man should. Go and get some help for my mental health or whatever I need to do. Nope. I'm gonna turn around and say it has something to do with you, and I'm gonna blame it on you. I'm going to say it's because of our relationship, which means you. So, see, with me, the second he said that, I would have been done with him. Get your shit, get the fuck out. Now, that part you said, I love that. That's my favorite sentence. Get the fuck out. That's like, I should just have that like over my door in my house because I just want to point it and tell people, okay, that. Get to moving. Feet. That way. Because, it's just terrible. Yeah. No, you did the right thing. Now forget about him. And because this is the thing I want women to think about too. You have, he's doing this to women. Now, let's say you have a teenage niece, little cousin. He's perving on women. Don't you think he would do the same thing to her? You need to think about stuff like that. Women need to think about stuff like that. Okay, sakes of Ra, let's not fearmonger. I just talked about that a little while ago. We don't conjecture about fearful things and try to just make people, going down fantasy lane with a bunch of stuff that's nowhere in evidence. Okay. Question number 21, female, 40 to 45 from Sheffield, England. We have been together for 2 years. He is kind, considerate, and I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about things. I own my flat and have a relatively cheap mortgage. I owned it with my ex. After finding out that he had cheated on me multiple times, I ended it and I bought him out. I'm much better off without him, but it made me a bit wary about starting anything new too soon, and very wary about being financially tied to anyone else. My current boyfriend is nothing like my ex, thankfully. So where are you? Sheffield, England. Okay. My current boyfriend is renting a house with friends, but he brought up the subject of him moving in with me when the tenancy ends. He casually asked how it would work if he would pay half the mortgage and so on. I wasn't sure how to answer this. I would not feel comfortable with putting him on the mortgage, especially after what happened with my ex. Equally, I don't think he should pay my mortgage. My mortgage is fairly low, and I don't think he should be paying for it if his name is not on it. My question is, how do I make it fair? Do I get him to pay for groceries and utility bills? Or is there another way that we could arrange this? Well, what you would do, what I would say that you should do, is figure out what your monthly expenses are just for you living by yourself. show, get out your, because we talked about this the other day with some other young lady who had a guy move in and like to run the AC all the time and stuff like that. You show him what your baseline expenses are and say, of course, what you hear, these things are going to double. So, and you don't have to tell them how much your mortgage is. Say, I'm going to pay my mortgage because it's my house and I don't want any drama about it. As a matter of fact, I want you to sign a rental agreement because that's going to protect me if you move in here from any drama. Okay, because this is my house. It's important to me that it stays my house. I don't mind you living here with me, but I don't want any funny business about the deed and the title and all the stuff. So if he's got any sense, he would say, yeah, 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 that makes sense, and I totally understand your concern. He'll sign the rental agreement, and you're gonna charge him. I would suggest charging him a flat fee. Like, you're gonna figure what you've been spending by yourself, double everything, and then include how much the mortgage is, and then you make him pay 2/3 of that total cost, and you pay 1/3. And that's how it is. And that's going to include food, that's going to include lights, that's going to include heat, that's going to include water and garbage and everything else that, is included in the household expensive. He's going to pay that one fee and that will cover everything. Okay? That I think is a better way to do it than trying to do, piecemeal. Well, you pay half of the light bill and you pay this and that, what, because then, if he's like the other dude and he runs all the bills up and stuff, well, you're paying half, but your half is greatly inflated over what you're used to paying all by yourself as a whole. You're paying more as a half than you were paying as a whole by yourself. That's why I said whatever you was paying, you need to at least double it and then make him pay for all of that. Rental references. She's been dating dude for what, 2 years. I should think she would already know what kind of how he is with his money, right? But if there's any doubt, like you feel he's got creditors calling him, bill collectors, he don't be paying the stuff, then you don't let him move in. Tell him to go rent somewhere else with some more friends. But and it's not like he's going to be really renting her. This rental agreement is just to protect her from any claim he might try to make that he's paid on the mortgage and that, he has a stake in her home. That's all it is. It's not a real landlord tenant relationship. It's just a legal document to protect her ownership of her flat. That's it. Okay, now let's move on to question 22. This is the next to last question of the evening for What the Fuck Tuesday. I hope you're enjoying this cray crayness. It's like dust o'clock. That's what I'm saying. I must change the tagline saying instead of starting at 6 o'clock, it's gonna start at dust o'clock. Whew. All right, let's move on. This is also from the UK. Wow, a lot of UK letters today. Female 26 to 29. Just wondering what your views are. My husband and his childhood friend, a female, grew up close together in Yorkshire and lived nearby to each other as part of a close knit circle of close family friends. I am 28, they're in their early 30s. Thing is, she is quite possessive and is slightly jealous. Since I married my husband, she has essentially criticized me to my husband via text, although not overtly. From other comments, it is clear that her mother is also jealous of the good relationship my husband has with my parents, as she considers him to be her son. My husband just dismisses it and doesn't engage in politics. I won't get into details of everything, but I'm starting to wonder whether I need to address this with my husband more seriously. When I gave birth to my twins last month, she posted on Facebook a picture of her and my husband with the caption, "New daddy, smile, brother. Auntie loves you so much, little nephews." She only tagged my husband in this. She didn't feel the need to include me. Similarly, in the newborn card, she addressed it to the babies and made the whole rambling message inside about her, her family, and my husband. There's no mention of me and no congratulations offered to us as a couple as the new parents. She did, however, message me separately to say congratulations, then went on to say that her and her parents, have been waiting forever for my husband's baby. When I questioned her, she said how close they were to my husband, how his baby is a big thing for them. Similarly, when I got married, before we had kids, she sourced a photo of the three of us on my wedding day, but cropped me out of the photo, so it's just a photo of her and her husband together. What? The brief caption was about how happy she was and how she would always be there for him. Again, she just tagged my husband. Someone even commented how good they look together. She often does this sort of thing on social media, but when it's about something which involves me so personally, such as me giving married or giving birth, it's just weird that she excludes me and makes it about her and my husband. In the past, she's even messaged him to say it was nice to see him, that he looked very handsome. We were all at a social gathering at the races. The message came as soon as he and I sat down in the car to leave. I don't know why she had to especially message him separately afterwards rather than just say it to his face in front of us when we were all together. I don't object to this per se, but combined with everything else, I'm unsure of her. I started to think this possessiveness is unhealthy. I know they message each other from time to time, but then again, she messages me whenever it's my birthday to say congratulations when it's due. So it's got me confused. My husband just thinks of her as family, but I just find this general behavior on her part slightly off putting. Anything I should do or say? Nope. This is your husband's friend since like birth and the people that he knows. And like you said, everything is being very passive aggressive. Okay, she's not doing anything overt. So the only thing, I would not bring this up to my husband. What I would do is, you fight bitch fire with bitch fire. You have Facebook too, right? Don't you? Yep, right. So what you could do is post the picture where she cropped you out of. Post the whole picture and say, I don't know why so and so cropped me out of my own wedding photo, but she must have some reason why she's trying to make it seem like she's marrying my husband. And then I would tag her, and I would tag her parents, and I would tag everybody. Because we're going to be playing passive aggressive games. I am a fucking PhD at that shit. I will make you look like a fool. And see, then, you put all that stuff up and, everything that she does, like, she comes, she did a picture of my twins. And, show yourself happily with your husband there and tag her. And then, she'll, oh, look at my twins are just growing up. They're so wonderful. It's so great to be their mother. My husband is so wonderful. I'm so glad I met him. He's a fabulous dad. And tag her. Oh, I just be wearing her out. I take a picture of me in my lingerie sitting on my husband's lap looking all sexy, tongue all down his throat, and put it on my Facebook profile, and I would tag her. Oh, I would wear her out. I would wear her out. Wear her out. It doesn't say, don't you wish this was you? Something like that. Yeah, I would just wear her out. But you're not gonna say nothing to your man because he, like you said, he sees them as family. And men tend to have blinders when it comes to stuff like this. Women pick up on bitch shit. Men don't, because men tend to be more direct. Like if another guy, liked your woman, he would just come to you and say, "I like your girl. You keep fucking up, I'm gonna take her from you." They say that's how they do. They're just very direct. Women don't do that kind of stuff. And the one woman who did do that to me, I choked the shit out that bitch in the bathroom at work. I sure did. I dragged her in there, locked that door, and pushed that bitch up against the wall. My hand at her throat just like this, telling her what she better not ever say to another black woman as long as she lives. Oh, white girl, telling me that about my boyfriend. Oh, good thing we're friends, or I would take him from you. I dragged her ass in the bathroom and locked the door and had her up against the wall. And I gave her what for and all kind of business about what she best not do. And that's when I was young and in my way more of a thug than I am now. I would have beat her ass if I hadn't remembered that I was at work. Just thinking about it now, it's so fucking disgusting. I don't know who the fuck she thought she was. That shit pissed me off. And then I put on a Academy Award-winning performance because she went running to the personnel director, right? And I was back at my desk by then. And so then they come over there. Oh, she said that you choked her. I said, what? What are you talking about? I don't know. What? She's delirious. I haven't touched that girl. Why would I choke her? We're friends, right? Because everybody knew we would go to lunch together, all kind of stuff. But we wasn't friends as of that second. But they knew that we, were friendly. Well, yes, that's why I'm so confused why she's saying that, says the HR director. I said, that makes two of us with my best innocent face on, the one I used to use on my grandmother. Like, I'm so confused. I just don't know what's going on here. I played that shit off, and so she looked like an idiot, and so she quit after that. Bitch. I still remember that hoe. So I see her ass on the street. I'm going to still beat her ass just for GP. Question number 23. Female 30 to 35 from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Can I please have your honest opinion on what you really think of men who use prostitutes? Are they trying me today? Candace must have saved up all these crazy letters to put them in one document because she knew that I was in a special state of mind after my weekend of drunkenness. That must be what it is. Okay, I got you. I was talking to a friend about it, and we had completely different ideas on this subject. We were discussing a man we know socially who we heard discuss how he used a prostitute when he was in a relationship and was away on a business trip. There is no agreement in his relationship that it's okay to do this, as in she has no clue that he has involved himself in this way with prostitutes. So, what's the question? You really want to know what I think about men who use prostitutes? I think they're trash. What do you think? I mean, basically, you got a person, most of these people are in that position involuntarily. So that means these men are paying other men to rape these women. That's what that prostitution is. Okay? You got a woman she's so desperate for money, the ones who are not being trafficked, so desperate for money that that's the only way that she can think of to get some. That's like they go to these foreign countries, right? And they be, to these third world countries where people are like so poverty stricken. They have like one dress, no shoes. They live in a hut and everything, all this kind of stuff. And they go to those places like that to take advantage of those young girls and the little boys and the kids too, because these people are so poor and they offer them money and food and stuff. And the people do, in exchange for their bodies. I mean, it's a victimization crime. And any man who could get his dick hard in a situation like that and enjoy a situation of victimizing some person like that, whether it's sexual assault, where that's what it is, or whether they feel like it's under cover of prostitution, they're paying it for it, so they're getting a service and all this kind of shit here. When them little girls they be screwing are trafficked, they're stolen. They belong to somebody. They belong at home with their parents. They do not belong in this place where you sticking your dick in them. Okay, so to me, any man who would mess with a prostitute of any sort in any way is trash. He's trash. His mind is all fucked up. He's not even thinking about what he's doing and who he's hurting and how he's hurting that person. If there was no market, if no men participated in prostitution, there would be no sex trafficking because there would be no money in it. But the fact that there's money in it, it is now the biggest, most profitable business. Human trafficking is the biggest business on this planet. Okay? Billions and billions of dollars every year. So a lot of people are getting into that trade. They don't have no job because of COVID. And so they snatching people's daughters and sons and kids and stuff. Sometimes being bold as fuck, coming right out of their house, snatching the kids right out of their parents' arms and right out of the strollers and stuff. You better watch your kids. I've been telling women all the time, don't be going away with a whole gang of kids. If you can't hold on to the kid, you go someplace with one, maybe two. And you can't hold on to them. You can't hold on to 3 or 4 kids. You don't be bringing 3 or 4 kids with you nowhere unless you got 2 or 3 other adults with you. You try to handle 3 or 4 kids by yourself, that's a recipe for disaster. Don't fucking do it. Okay, these people are not playing. They're going to stores and snatching people's kids right out the parents, out the grocery carts. All kind of crazy shit's going on in this world right now. So I'm saying to you, lady, and anyone listening to this, if you are a man and you engage in this kind of stuff, you're a fucking trash pile. You ain't shit. And you got a man that does this kind of stuff, you would a fucking trash dump, dusty butt pervert who doesn't no problem at all victimizing young people that are being held against their will and their bodies are being sold. Basically, they're just being raped over and over and over and over and over again. That's what you're doing to these people, and you feel good about it. You're trash. Your humanity is in the garbage. So I personally, I'm not going to be the kind that's going to be going out marching on the street against prostitution and all this kind of stuff. I speak on this platform and on my blogs. I've reached millions of people over the years this way. And I have very strong opinions about this, what is to be expected of someone who calls himself a man. And a man is designed to protect and provide. If you're doing something like that, you're not protecting, you're in predator mode. Okay, you're fucking predator. Where's that a man? Okay. Men have very distinct roles to play, and they are to protect and to provide for women and children and those who are weaker and younger than them. If that is not your guiding principle as a man, then you ain't shit. You're trash. You know? You're just trash. And that's what I have to say on that. Deb's sermon for the evening is now over. Yeah, I bet they do. But that's why I told you I'm not doing nothing to go with the continent. They have an accent. I don't fuck with them. You got an accent. I can't deal with you, especially if you from the continent. Not doing it. And other people say, how can you say that? That's your history and your people. This and that. You don't know where I'm from. I trace my blood all over Ireland, Italy, and the Caribbean, which I suppose has some slave blood in it somewhere. And I know my mother's great great grandmother was born a slave. Was this her great great grandmother? Yeah, her great great grandmother was born a slave. But do we know? We don't know nothing about where she came from and her history and all that kind of stuff. We don't know. That's my mother's great great grandmother was born a slave in the United States of America. So people think that this stuff is just so far removed, and those are the olden days and this and that. It's not that long ago, and this country is still under those same, racist operating still under those same racist belief systems. A lot of those same laws are in place. So just watch yourself. But you guys, yeah, I could talk about all kind of stuff. There's so much knowledge in this big head. But right now we focus on relationships and helping you get yourself together to be a woman of power and strength and determination with strong boundaries and purpose for living your life, making smart choices that are in your own best interest and the interest of your children, your loved ones. All right. That's what we do on this channel. If you are not already a subscriber to the Devsrism channel, please become one. Hit that subscription button before you leave. Also, hit the like button. I want to thank everybody for coming, especially those who made a super chat donation and contributed with responses for the questions that came through tonight. I was a bit floored, I have to admit. Some of them, they took me off guard. It took me to the special place. But that is what it is. So thanks you guys for coming. Thanks Shane for always being here, having my back. Diana, Tracy, Lee, Ravania, Nerd Sue, Michelle, Ash, all you guys are so diligent and here all the time supporting the channel. I really, 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 really appreciate you. I'll see you guys real soon, like on Friday. Bye-bye.